Blackwell is the key to NVIDIA's next growth phase. The new AI chip has reportedly hit an overheating snag. The NVIDIA has asked the suppliers to change its server selects for Blackwell due to the overheating, per the information. The sparks concern the NVIDIA may delay deliveries, which are expected to start next month. The Blackwell chips are the key for AI development, promising to improve the speed over NVIDIA predecessors. The NVIDIA has asked its suppliers to rethink the design of server racks and that wholly and use Blackwell chips for recent months because of an overheating issue, the information reported. According to the report, the lax reconfiguration came late in Blackwell's production process, sparking fears it could result in a delivery release. The Blackwell is NVIDIA's new flagship graphic processing unit architecture, coming in the variations known as the B100, B200, and GB200. The AI chip is highly sought after because it lives twice as fast as its predecessor, Hopper. Companies require increasingly powerful computer servers for data centers to train and run their AI models. The chip are also considered a key growth driver for NVIDIA, with one analyst previously likening Blackwell to an iPhone moment. Last month, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang told CNBC that demand for Blackwell is insane, and separately said Blackwell is sold out for the next 12 months. Customers include Amazon Web Services, Meta, Microsoft, and SoftBank. As NVIDIA share price has soared by 195% since the start of the year, propelling it above Apple earlier this month to become the world's most valuable company. While some Wall Street investors have become concerned that NVIDIA is overvalued, Beth Keating, the lead tech analyst at IA Fund, said in August that the release of the Blackwell would mean fireworks for NVIDIA share price. The NVIDIA already delayed the shipment of the next generation AI chips by a quarter after the information reported in August that it had design flaws that pushed the shipment back by 2 to 3 months by December. Huang said last month it had fixed the design flaw in the GPU thanks to help from TSMC. Reuters reported at the same time. SoftBank is the first customer to use NVIDIA's Blackwell chips. The company said at NVIDIA's AI Summit in Japan last week. They are gearing up to build what they said will be Japan's most powerful supercomputer early next week. All eyes are on the NVIDIA this week, as it is set to report its third quarter earnings on Wednesday. The chip giant shares slipped by 3.3% in a pre-market trading on Monday. An NVIDIA spokesman said in a statement shared with the Business Insider, NVIDIA GB200 systems are most advanced computers ever created. Integrating them into a diverse range of data center environment requires co-engineering with our customers. While our customers race to be the first market, NVIDIA is working with the leading CSPs as an integral part of our engineering team and process. The engineering iterations are normal and expected. Okay, next is also about the Blackwell. NVIDIA Blackwell revenue in focus as sales growth rose. Okay, Reuters. The NVIDIA has bested roughly Wall Street revenue expectation for past 8 quarters, but as analysts expect a slower pace of growth, how company can overcome some delay and supply chain issues to sell alleged AI chips is likely to be a barometer for its stock price. the chip maker, which is at the heart of the generative artificial intelligence boom, and is expected to report that its third quarter sales surged 82.8% to $33.13 billion, according to the data compiled by LSEG. This would mark the slowest growth in 6 quarters, and its sales at least doubling in the previous 5. Growth of the fourth quarter ending January, which will include the sales of NVIDIA's new Blackwell chips, is likely to slow further to 67.6%. NVIDIA reported third quarter financial results on Wednesday. After the giant slow brought on delays in ramping up the production of the new series of processors, investors are keen to know whether NVIDIA will be able to deliver on a promise of several $billion in Blackwell revenue in January quarter. It is all about Blackwell right now from an investor perspective, said Hans Bosman, an analyst at Rosenblatt. Morgan Stanley analysts expect Blackwell revenue between the $5 billion and $6 billion in the fourth quarter, while Piper Sandler analysts forecast a range of the $5 billion to $8 billion in revenue from the chips that packs 30 times more than their predecessors. The Ivana Delevska, founder and chief investment officer of the Spirit Investment, which holds NVIDIA shares in actively managed ETF, is even more bullish. She expected these chips to bring in about $12 billion to $13 billion in the same period. But NVIDIA's ability to deliver these chips may be limited by the supply chain constraint. Capacity for the production of AI chip will be very tight going into 2025. NVIDIA contract chip manufacturers TSMC said in July. It's hard to read this with any precision. To be clear, Morgan Stanley's analyst said, adding that a change of even a week in the timeline for the delivering Blackwell chips could have a meaningful impact on revenue. The NVIDIA quarterly results faced off the year-on-year comparison following a surge in investment in AI infrastructure after launch of the OpenAI ChatGPT in late 2022, which was trained and runs on thousands of NVIDIA graphic processors. The company beat Wall Street's revenue estimate by narrowing margin in the past 4 quarters. The result at NVIDIA, which has overtaken Apple as the world's most valuable firm, will be instrumental in driving or weakening a prolonged rally in the AI-linked stocks, so NVIDIA's own shares have nearly tripled this year. NVIDIA's adjusted gross margin is expected to drop more than 3 percentage points to 73.6% in the fourth quarter, weighted by down the high cost of the developing and ramping up the production of the new AI chips. The research and development costs and adjusted operating expenses are expected to be their highest ever in that period, but demand for NVIDIA's leading the GPUs will remain robust in the foreseeable future, analysts and investors agree. So, cloud service providers, including Microsoft and Amazon, are likely to keep investing billions of dollars to build out an AI data center that use NVIDIA's chips as they race to develop the fastest and most sophisticated generative AI applications. The NVIDIA proprietary CUDA software framework that developers use programming each processors and also helping it dominate the AI chip market, where it commands about 80% of the market share. The software has become a really nice multi-billion-dollar annual recurring revenue business, operating in a scale and still growing north of the 100%, said John Burton, a portfolio manager of Gabriela Fund, which holds NVIDIA shares. Leveled by the R share Bazaar in Bangalore. Okay. Next is TechCrunch outcomes. ARM announced the next generation of its architecture, It's quite old article. The ARM today is announced the ARM V9, the next generation of its chip makers. Its predecessors is ARM ARM V8, launched a decade ago, and it has been in the fair share of change and update. The new is architecture that brings a number of major updates to the platform and warrant a shift in version numbers. Surprisingly, V9 built on V6 8 is backward compatible, but it specifically introduced new security, AI, and signal processing, and performance features. Over the last 5 years, more than 100 billion ARM-based chips have snipped. The ARM is believed that each partner will ship over 300 billion in the next decade. We will see the first ARM V9-based chips in devices later this year. Ian Smith, the ARM's VP of the marketing for each client business, told me he believes that this new architecture will change the way we do computing over the next decade. We are going to deliver more performance. We will improve the security capabilities, and we will enhance the workload capability because of the shift that we see in compute that's taking place, he said. The reason we've taken these steps is to look at how we provide the best experience out there for handling explosion data that are needed to process and it's needed to move it to the need to protect it. That nearly sums up the core philosophy behind these updates. The security side, the ARM, the ARM V9, will introduce the ARM's confidential computer architecture and conceptual realisms, and the realisms enable developers to the right applications where the data is shielded from the operating system and other apps on the device using RAMs. A business application code could shield the sensitive data and cut from the rest of the device, for example. So what we are doing with the ARM confidential computer architecture is worrying about the fact that all of our computing is running on a computing infrastructure of the operating systems and hypervisors. Richard Greensway, the chief architect at the ARM, told me the code is quite complex and therefore could be penetrated if things go wrong, and it's in an incredible trusted position, and we are moving to some of the workloads so that they are running on a vastly smaller piece of code. Only the real manager is the thing that actually capable of seeing your data while it's in action, and that will be done on the order of about 10th of the size of the number 5 hypervisor and much smaller still than operating system. The Grisens noted it took a few years to work out the details of the security architecture and ensure that it's robust enough. And during that time, Spectre and Meltdown appeared too, and set back some of the ARM initial work because some of the solutions it was working and would be vulnerable to similar attacks. Unsurprisingly, another area of team focus is on enhancing the CPU AI capabilities. AI workloads are now the ubiquitous. Had already introduced its scale-up vector extension, SVE, a few years ago, but at the time, it was meant for a high-performance computing solution like the powerful Hukaku supercomputer. Now the ARM is introducing the SVE2, enables more AI and digital signal processing DSP capabilities. Those can be used for image processing from clouds, as well as other IoT and smart home solutions. For example, there are, of course, dedicated AI chips on the market now, but the ARM believes that the entire computing stack needs to be optimized. These workloads there are a lot of use cases where the CPU is the right choice for them, especially for smaller workloads. So we regard machine learning as appearing to in just about everything. It's going to be done in GPUs. It's going to be done in the dedicated processor. Your processors also done in our CPUs. And it's really important that we will make all these different components rather than doing the machine learning, Greenstone Weight said. R4, low performance. Believes that each new architecture will allow chip and manufacturers to gain more than 30% in compute power over the next two chip generations, both for mobile CPUs but also kind of the infrastructure CPUs that are large cloud vendors like AWS now offer their users. The ARM next generative ARMv9 architecture offers a substantial improvement in security and machine learning, and two areas that will be further emphasized into tomorrow's mobile communication devices, said Min-Gu Kim, the executive vice president of SoC development at Samsung Electronics. As we work together with ARM, we expect to see the new architecture usher wider range of the innovation to the next generation of Samsung's Exynos mobile processors. The ARM CEO, okay, the next. The TSMC, this is TSMC's packaging. This is about the packaging of TSMC. TSMC adjust CoWoS capacity plans amid Trump 2.0 uncertainty. Okay, so rising global uncertainties following the Donald Trump's presidential victory have allowed the TSMC to recalibrate the ambitious expansion plans for a chip-on-wafer-on substrate CoWoS. Its packaging technology, particularly as the semiconductor industry faces new geopolitical challenges. AI boom drives initial expansion. The semiconductor industry had previously identified AI as the primary growth driver for 2025, permitting the TSMC to aggressively expand its CoWoS production capacity. The company's initial strategy focused on a significant capacity increases over the next 2 years, with the target being repeatedly revised upward. Geopolitical factors force strategy shift. However, recent development, including the heightened U.S. restriction on China's AI chips and uncertainties surrounding the incoming Trump administration, have reportedly led TSMC to reassess its expansion plans. While the company will still expect to double its capacity by 2025, the growth projection for 2026 have been moderated, affecting the planning of the factory engineering and equipment orders. Industry leaders remained bullish. Despite market uncertainty, industry leaders maintain an optimistic outlook. NVIDIA's Jensen Huang recently emphasized the extraordinary demand for a company's Blackwell architecture, citing strong interest for major tech companies including Microsoft, OpenAI, and Meta. Similarly, TSMC CEO C.C. Wei has affirmed the legitimacy of this insane AI demand, noting that a company's partnership with virtually all major AI chip manufacturers provides unique market insight. This is reflected in the rising utilization rate for TSMC's 5nm, 3nm processes. The capacity target undergoing a revision. TSMC's advanced packaging roadmap has seen multiple adjustments throughout 2024. The company latest projection now targets monthly CoWoS capacity of approximately 35,000 units for 2024, the 75,000 units for 2025, and 135,000 units for 2026, slightly released from the previous estimate of the 80,000 and 140,000 units for 2025 and 2026 respectively. Industry sources suggest this revision reflecting growing geometrically and economically uncertainty. Impact on the broader ecosystem. The potential slowdown in the CoWoS expansion has broader implications for the semiconductor supply chain. The sources indicate that reduced capacity expansion could affect factory engineering requirements and equipment and material orders. Furthermore, TSMC's more cautious stance necessitates re-evaluation of the planned follow-through orders and outsourced semiconductor assembly and test offset expansion, particularly given the company's inability to accept orders from Chinese AI chip customers due to the trade restriction. Okay, next one is this is semiconductor engineering. The Asia government funding surged. Taiwan, China, South Korea, and Japan continue to foster growth in while the rest of Asia competes for foreign investment and talent. The billions of dollars have been pouring into Asian countries in the past few years in an effort to boost their production capacity through leading-edge technology, compete on the global stage, and shore up their supply chains in the face of the geopolitical turmoil. Each country has its own plan to maintain a foothold in the global market, from China being funded to the Korean Union Cluster and Japanese Lapidus Consortium. Meanwhile, India and South Asia have launched numerous programs to attract international companies to build the talent pipelines to support new facilities. Similar for the background information on government programs in the selected Asian countries and the tables showing selected 2024 or the late 2023 announcement. This is the fourth and final article in the series of government funding around the globe. Global is here, America is here, and the EMEA is here. No country has achieved end-to-end supply chain independence, and it seems that the cooperation between like-minded countries is here to stay. We see interdependency across the global semiconductor ecosystem, said Nina Lin, Vice President and General Manager of Southeast Asia EDA at Siemens Digital Industries of Software. The semiconductor industry is highly complex. It requires a broad spectrum of resources, deep technical knowledge and expertise. It also requires partnerships and collaborations to effectively and seamlessly manage every semiconductor life cycle stage, including end-to-end traceability, real-time visibility, and life cycle management, and supply chain manufacturing, just to name a few. It thus requires the whole ecosystem to be involved, alongside competition to build capacity and develop technology. It is challenging to find talent in a market where younger generations are demanding more from their employers than a paycheck. We are witnessing a transition happening in the workforce in many parts of the world, said Lin. Experienced employees are reaching a retirement or moving into role. Software and electronics engineering skills are growing in demand, and the next generation of the engineers want to work at companies that can demonstrate sustainability, corporate responsibility, and technological innovation. Your skill composition will be needed as companies increasingly integrated advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI, and ML into their manufacturing environment. So ensuring that new waves of the employees are equipped with the appropriate knowledge and tools will be crucial. For companies focused on the future in the AI hardware and design, there is an extra challenge. The world is now rife with AI talent today, said Paul Kalajuba, the Vice President of Marketing at Expedia. 10 years from now, it's going to be different. In such a competitive environment for top talent, a global workforce strategy can come down to the old saying, it's not what you want, what you know, but who. We meet people through the trade shows or through technology, but more often than not, it's through connection, said Karajuba. As big as the semiconductor industry can seem, it is also a small world. We tend to know people everywhere. One way to fill a talent gap is to open an international office where the talent already exists instead of importing workers to a domestic location. For example, Lam Research recently opened a new campus in the Korean government-backed Yongin Semiconductor Cluster, and it also partners with the Korean Semiconductor Industry Association and Sungkyunkwan University on education and workforce development. Likewise, Expedire took a targeted approach in India. We had wanted to expand in India, and the particular location was chosen because we knew a very small and but experienced group of the AI engineers who were looking also make a move as a group as Kalajuba. So rather than ask them to move somewhere else, which is difficult and expensive things to do, we just opened an office at that location. That's what happened with our location as well. We knew of the three particular engineers and we really wanted them. So we decided, let's just open an office there. Our offices in Asia initially were chosen for proximity to the customers, but we are not going to open an office unless we know there is a local talent base. In Taipei, Shanghai, Singapore, everyone knows there is cheap talent. And moving forward, we certainly wanted to hire people in the existing field office. But it's going to be the same approach. If we can identify the local talent, as long as it's a business-friendly location, at an IP-friendly location in terms of laws, and we are going to open an office near talent. The India is a rising star due to the rich talent pool. The country's first fab has received the government improved construction, and the EDA companies had a presence for years. Foreign Cadence had been a part of the Indian government's specialized manpower development program, MSTP, in various site design. Phases 1 and 2, from the year of which it established. According to the Jayashankar Narayan Nankuti, Sales Group Director of Cadence Design Systems India, Phase started in 1998, and so it has been a long collaboration, he said. More recently, Cadence collaborated with the All-India Council for the Technical Education, AICTE, committee with the moral curriculum for undergraduate degree in the electronics engineers VLSI, and the company's software is accessible through the National Electronic Design Automation, EDA, grid to all startups selected for the Design Linked Incentive DLI program. This integration supports startups across India in leveraging advanced electronic design automation tools to enhance their product development capabilities, said Narayan Nankuti. The Cadence is working with India's MATE-Y, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, for Chips to Startup program, C2S, to provide EDA tools to 150 universities, aiming to develop a pool of 5,000 trained engineers by 2027, said Narayana Kuti. The additional Cadence aligns with the CHIPIN initiative overseen by the CDAC, Center of the Development of Advanced Computing, enabling universities to engage in both research and development for chip design while also fostering startup creation in this critical section. The GMANS, Synopsys, ANSYS, and Keysight also contribute to the CHIPIN Center, while the RAM Research partnered with Indian institutions to teach semiconductor fabrication and dominated software. The countries such as Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore also have been a slew of the government industry partnership in recent years. ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, governments are increasingly investing in semiconductor industry to create high and value jobs, especially in front-end IC design and foundries, said Lin. The four examples, Synopsys, Cadence, and GMANS all partners with the Vietnam National Innovation Center (NIC) to support IC design and workforce development, among other initiatives. The GMANS also partnered with the Saigon High-Tech Park and Viet Bay. These programs are scalable and are able to extend to the front-end foundry fab, said Lin. So the Synopsys has multiple initiatives underway worldwide in Asia and Southeast Asia. In Singapore, the company builds the curriculums with the Singapore Semiconductor Industry Association (SSIA) and Nanyang Technical University. In Taiwan, it works with the government entities to help fund academic programs that support research and run the Purple 100 program, which trained about 100 participants annually in front of the back-end design. In front-end and back-end design, Synopsys also is working with the National Yangmin Chao Tong University NYCU to establish the NYCU Synopsys EDA and AI Research Center. In India, the company partnered with the Indian Institute of the Technology IIT Bombay to sponsor the Synopsys Semiconductor Lab for the virtual fab solutions. It uses its FARA program to engage in the end-to-end solutions and collaborate with over 30 institutions the curriculum review and enhancement. As the demand of the semiconductor continues to grow and whichever ever-evolving application and the product, the demand for talent, R&D, and manufacturing capacity also will rise. So we see the semiconductor at the center of the changing world and the heartbeat of today's smart technology that Siemens leans. After the disruption of the pandemic, we see the frailty of the supply chains and also role technology plays in connecting people. There is the huge potential that AI will bring in, enabling the university and transforming the industry. Society is also demanding more sustainable and responsible corporate management, and the companies must balance society's responsibility with cost. The Asian government schemes is a recent announcement. The following provide a summary of significant government initiatives in selected Asian countries along with the table announcement made in 2024. Taiwan government funding. Taiwan Ministry of the Economic Affairs (MOEA) investment primarily via its Ministry of the Science and Technology with initiatives such as A+ Industry Innovation R&D Program, under which it offers the Industry Technology Foresight Research Program, the Global Innovation Partnership Initiative Program, and the A+ Startup Technology Enhancement Program, A+ STEP. And a key regulation to support these efforts is the Statute for Industry Innovation, June 2023. The Taiwanese government has strong ties with many companies, including NVIDIA. For example, in 2018, NVIDIA said it would invest the government to bring its advanced technology to Taiwan. Then in May 2023, the company said it would invest up to the 24.3 billion TWD. Taiwan is the dollars. The US $790 million in a research center, so to be jointly managed by the National Taiwan University with the government subsidy of the TWD 6.7 billion. Its supercomputer Taipei 1 is up and running in Kaohsiung. The government reportedly spent about $6.5 billion US to $11.6 million in 5 years, supporting the local equipment and the material suppliers to build their R&D capabilities. In addition, the investment Taiwan has a semiconductor division to encourage foreign companies such as Cadence to build in the country. The Japan government funding. Most of the Japanese government funding is made via Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, and METI. The other agencies include the Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, and the New Energy and Industry Technology Development Organization, ENDO, NEDO. In November 2024, Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced the government will invest 10 trillion yen, $65 billion, or more than 2030, to revitalize its semiconductor industry, according to the CNBC. The major investment already have gone into Rapidus Consortium, 70 billion yen in November in 2022, and 260 billion yen in April 2023, and up to 590 billion yen in April 2024. 자, and NEDO approved the Rapidus 024 budget in April. Another key recipient is TSMC-led Japan Advanced Semiconductor Manufacturing JASM, which received nearly $8 billion in government funding to build two foundries. In 2022, METI launched an R&D organization for next-generation semiconductors named the Leading Edge Semiconductor Technology Center, but funding was announced. In 2024, METI invested up to 72.5 billion yen into 5 projects for improving the computational resources necessary for developing AI. In addition to the Japanese Investment Corporation is government-backed fund that support next-gen technology, including the semiconductors. The fund offered to a biomaterial company, JSR, in March 2024. Taiwan and Japan is collaborated through the JASM venture and also the SEMI-backed International Taiwan-Japan Semiconductor Technology Symposium. The South Korea government funding. In South Korea, government funding is made via the Ministry of Economy and Finance, MOEF, which announced a 26 trillion won support package for the chip industry in May 2024 and further support in October 2020. This same year. Much of the government focus in a semiconductor cluster in Yongin, first announced in March 2019, then boosted in January 2024 with a total reported investment of 622 trillion won, $472 billion with Samsung and SK hynix. Yongin currently houses 21 fabs and the plan is more fabs by 2047, including 3 to 4 research and 4 to 4 research. In October 2024, Lam Research became the first global company to locate in the government Yongin Semiconductor Mega Cluster when it opened its new campus. In addition to the funding, MOEF supported the industry through the high-tech subsidies and regularly stems to expedite construction. It also launched its top-tier project to set up a collaboration system with the leading foreign research institutions with an investment of 10 billion won. Historically, there has been an animosity between Japan and South Korea, but in the face of the China, North Korea, and Russia axis, Japan and South Korea are putting aside their differences, at least in the semiconductor world. For example, the chairman of the CEO of SK Group told Nikkei Asia in May 2024 it aims to strengthen cooperation with the Japanese chip equipment makers and would consider investing there. And the Japanese city of Yokohama announced in December 2023 that South Korean Samsung will invest around 40 billion yen to $80 billion over 5 years in a facility for research in advanced chip making, per Reuters. The EU CHIPS joint undertaking launched a semiconductor collaboration with South Korea in July 2024. Next is the Chinese government funding. The Chinese company will invest in the International Integrated Circuit Industry Investment Fund, created in 2014, known as the Big Fund. It has 3 planned pages to address different aspects of the semiconductor industry. In May 2024, it raised about $48 billion for Big Fund 3 with a 19 active investor, led by the Minister of Finance and state-owned banks. The Chinese American Semiconductor Professional Association, CASPA, is a neutral bridge between the countries. TrendForce provided an overview of China's semiconductor industry project progress in 2024 the 2023 article from the South China Morning Post reported the Chinese government awarded more than 12.1 billion yuan, $1.75 billion US dollars in subsidies to the 190 domestic semiconductor companies in 2022, with the 10 biggest recipients getting 45%. SMIC was said to get the largest subsidy in 1.95 billion yuan, followed by Sunan Optoelectronics with 1.0 billion yuan. Other recipient was the chip packaging company Tianshui Huantian Technology in Shanxi, and an Apple supplier, Wingtech Technology, Nauru Technology, a chip equipment maker based on Beijing, and suppliers of Yangtze Memory Technology, YMTC, which is a US FANG, and Lungsan Technology, a CPU designer. In 2023 reported the Financial Times said that SMIC Hua and Huawei plus equipment suppliers roll out advanced micro-fabrication equipment that benefit from the policy shift, offering access additional government funding without having achieved a performance goal that the world previously required. So the Chinese government also subsidizes TSMC Nanjing. In each March 2024 financial report, TSMC said each subsidiaries such as JASM and TSMC Nanjing and received the subsidies from the government of Japan and China. For 3 months that ended in March 31st, 2024 and 2023, the company received a total of the $183,484 thousand and the $1,768,032 respective total thousand respectively in the form of the government grants. And the 2023 annual report, TSMC said subsidiaries such as JASM and TSMC Nanjing received subsidies from the government and Japan and China, respectively. For local plant setup and operation for the years ended December 31, 2023 and 2022, TSMC received a total $545,898 again NT dollars, and $7,051,432 dollars as government grant, respectively. Transfers noted that this was a 5.74-fold increase from the previous year, reaching a record high. The U.S. Center of the Strategic International Studies, CSIS, published a deep dive in China's strategy, so-called chip war. The Wall Street Journal also published an evaluation of Chinese chip making process. Okay, the other is another is Indian government funding. The Indian government Ministry of Electronics Information Technology, MATEY, formed the Semicon India program for the development of the semiconductors and display manufacturing of the semiconductors display manufacturing economy in India, and the India Semiconductor Mission ISM is within the Digital India Corporation in 2021, and the initial budget in the Indian rupees 76,000 crore. That means $10 billion. There are several schemes in place. Setting up semiconductor fabs in India offers to 50% of the project cost on an equal basis to approve the applicant. Similar terms are on the offer the display fabs. Setting up the compound, semiconductor silicon and photonics sensor, including MEMS, fabs, and discrete semiconductor fabs in semiconductor ATMP and OSAT as facilities in India extended support to 50% of the capital expenditure. The design-linked extensive DLI offered financial incentives and design infrastructure support across the development of the semiconductor chips for integrated circuit and chipset system in chips on the system and IP cores and the system semiconductor linked design over a period of 5 years. In September 2024, U.S. President Biden and India Prime Minister Modi partnered on plans on the build of fab, and the U.S. Department of the State partnered with India's semiconductor mission. The Ministry of the Electronics of IT Government to India to grow the diversity of the global semiconductor industry ecosystem under the International Technology, Security and Innovation. It's funded and created by the CHIP Act. So the fourth workforce development key agencies and program include All India Council for the Technology Education, AICTE Committee, the chief starter of the C2S program, and the Chipin Center for the Student to Access Design Infrastructure. Like the U.S. individual Indian state also learning intensive programs. For example, the Uttar Pradesh State Policy provides for an additional capital subsidy of the 50% of the capital subsidy approved under the India Semiconductor Mission, and the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission supports electronics system design and manufacturing, the ESDM, through the range of initiatives. There is a potential total of $21 billion in the proposal currently in progress in India, according to Bloomberg. India briefing to provide an ongoing update of investment. Information Technology and Innovation Foundation, ITIF, and did a deep dive into India's future role in the global supply chain. Southeast Asia government funding. Many countries in the Southeast Asia have achieved ambitions. For example, Philippines aimed to train 128,000 engineers to technicians for semiconductor and electronics by 2028. And the U.S. partnered with Indonesia to explore semiconductor supply chain opportunity, and Thailand is set to build its first SiC fab. However, most activities in this region is concentrated in Malaysia, Vietnam, and Singapore, as shown in below. In Malaysia in 2023, the Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI, launched its New Industrial Master Plans, NIMP, and proposing to allocate the RM 8.2 billion for implementation from the 2024 until 2030, according to the Malaysian Investment Development Authorities. In May 2024, the government launched its National Semiconductor Strategy (NSS), aiming to draw RM 500 billion as similar to $100 billion investment of integration RSK circuit, IC design, advanced packaging, and manufacturing equipment for a semiconductor chip, and with the outlay of RM 25 billion, $5 billion. BIDA, as the government, the main investment promotion and development agency under MITI. There are also initiatives such as investor planning. In Vietnam, the Prime Minister said the country would simplify the procedure for semiconductor investment. In September 2024, it issued a strategy for development of the Vietnam semiconductor industry by 2030, with a vision toward 2050. In April, the Minister Planning and Investment MPI detailed its semiconductor industry human resource development by the 2030 project with a vision expanding out to the 2045. It has a total required budget of about 26,000 billion VND, of which the state budget will contribute to about 17,000 billion BND, and the socialized resource about 9,000 billion BND. By 2030, the program aimed to train 50,000 engineers for the semiconductor industry across all stages of the value chain, and to build a list for a national level shared semiconductor centers with equipment and a university at the Vietnam National Innovation Center. And I will announce with partners with such as the university, the Arizona State Building, a state university, and companies such as Samsung and Cadence, Synopsys, and Siemens. The tax incentive also was promised. Semi-Expo Vietnam was held in November in 2024, and NIC with many companies participating. In Singapore in 2021, the Government Economic Development Board (EDB) laid out its plan to grow in manufacturing sectors by 50% by 2030, stating that more than 1 in 10 of the world's semiconductor chips are produced by factories in the country. In 2022, Singapore investment initiated $85 billion to set up the National Gallium Nitride Technology Center over the 5 years and announced 5 manufacturing sector industry transformed maps ITMs in an area such as electronic and precision engineering. Also in 2022, the Minister of Trade and Industry launched the Manufacturing 2030 and 2030 as carries initiative to help us manufacturing companies develop attractive career options for Singapore residents. The National University of Singapore (NUS) offers a Master of Science in Semiconductor Technology and Operation (MSc STO) program. The state aims to be the smartest city in the world via an initiative launched in 2014 and the key innovation to happen in its Jurong Innovation District (JID) and a living lab and advanced manufacturing hub. In 2024, Ernst Young report stated that more than 140 countries have committed to the implementing of 50% of global minimum tax rate for a large multinational enterprise between now and 2025, and with Singapore among them. To offset this, Singapore introduced a refundable investment credit (RIC), offering up to the 50% support on each qualifying expenditure category for up to 10 years. For advanced manufacturing, the RIC scheme seeks to encourage R&D innovation projects. Supplementing the RIC scheme was an additional $3 billion investment into Singapore Research and Innovation and Enterprise 2025 initiative. 2024 Transforce report noted that given the 9 of the top 10 packaging and testing companies are located in the Asia Pacific region, and the strategic positioning in Asia is particularly notable, with Japan and Malaysia and Singapore all striving to market their mark. Table of the selected government program announced in 2024 and late 2023, including some of which appears in the global table. This is the table. The others or tables. Okay, I think we can finish here too. I read this Asian government funding surges as a final article. Thank you for your time. See you next time.